If you ever had any hamstring injuries, you know they stink. I myself have even torn both hamstrings, and I'll tell you this, I was out for a while from running. And even 2 months, 3 months, even a year down the road, it can still be very painful when trying to run. And those hamstrings, let's be honest, when you're going up and down those hills, you really pull through that heel to make sure that you're getting up the hill, pumping those arms, and then going down the hill. If you really can't lengthen those legs out, you're losing seconds on every hill and you're just kind of fighting yourself. So what's important is to know how to properly stretch your hamstrings to make sure that your race is everything that it can be. One of the simplest stretches for your hamstring, and you've seen it done many times, where someone will just kind of stand and they'll kind of reach down towards the toes. Again, technique is always the most important thing when doing any stretch, to make sure you're stretching the appropriate tissues so you're actually getting out of it what you're putting into it. So you want to make sure that when you are stretching your hamstrings, if you were just standing, doing a simple standing stretch, you want to keep your back slightly arched and tense because you want to prevent that pelvis from rotating. And then when you lean forward, you want to make sure that your back doesn't round out. And the reason is because when the back rounds out, you're mainly stretching the back muscles as opposed to your hamstring muscles. So again, staying straight forward, bring that forward into a little bit of an arch right here, and then come straight down. I oftentimes put my hands on my chest just to prevent me from reaching too much, and then you can lean forward and you'll get a good stretch through those hamstrings. Now, there's a couple other variations on this, particularly if you have the table. You can simply drape one leg off, put the other leg up again, keeping that back nice and straight, and then leaning forward from the chest, not from the shoulders. Leaning over from the hands is only going to make you arch your back a little bit more and not really focus in on that hamstring. Again, like all stretches, hold for about 20 to 30 seconds. And you want to repeat 1, 2, maybe 3 times on each side. And again, no bouncing, because anytime you bounce, all you're really doing is telling that muscle to fire, 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 instead of stretch and relax. Another option that you can have for stretching those hamstrings in standing is also crossing one leg over the other and then stretching forward. That's going to increase the stretch a little bit on one of the legs. Another option as far as for stretching, you can lay flat on your back. Particularly for those who just want to have a long run and you just want to sit back and relax, but get a little bit of stretching in. You want to make sure you keep that leg down straight, cup behind your knee, try not to go over it, and then bring the leg straight up. If you pull your foot back, you're going to find you get a little bit more stretch out of it. And the reason that is because those calf muscles cross over the back part of your knee, and they actually will get stretched out at the same time. So if you're stretching out those hamstrings, it's probably going to be important to stretch out those calves as well. Hamstring injuries are a beast, and you want to make sure that you stay away from this type of injury. Simple stretching on a regular basis, particularly after a long run, can make sure that you keep all those parts working to make sure that race is fast, efficient, and done, as opposed to you limping through and wishing maybe you'd stretched a couple more times the few weeks beforehand. So keep stretching and make sure you stay healthy.